It's been a busy week for rookie card hobby news, and today we're going to be talking about more late product being released. We're going to talk about the Fanatics versus Marvin Harrison Jr. case, and of course, the big legal battle between Panini and Fanatics. Make sure you stay all the way to the end because I'm going to be sharing with you 3 failures made by Fanatics as they entered the space, in my opinion, of course. You ready? Let's do this. Well, hello and welcome, rookie card collecting friends. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Victor, and here it's all about the rookie card. We look at the past and present day status of the rookie card, all in an effort to better understand this hobby icon. Well, let's begin with what seems to be a growing trend in the hobby, and that's card manufacturers releasing product later and later and later within the year. Scheduled to be released on March 21st, 2025, is 2024 Panini Zenith football. I'm of the opinion that after the Super Bowl, there should be no more product being released for that previous year. We are now entering a new year, a new season. We don't have to have football product release 12 months out of the year. Let us catch our breath, maybe to keep up with product, the influx of product that is now available. And I think maybe giving us a little buffer, let's lay off the football product for 2 or 3 months to kind of give us a chance to keep up with things. And so at the end of the day, I think years from now, it's not going to, the release date isn't going to matter much. That affects us here and now. I don't think it's going to affect us that much in the future, so long as the print date is legitimate in the back. And that to me is the big thing. Now, what Upper Deck is doing as far as combining 2 rookie classes into 1 year for their stature product, that I don't agree with. So you see, there's exceptions to every rule. And I understand the logistical side of things, and I don't think it's going to matter long term, but I do think it does affect us in the short term. So we've got to figure this out, guys. I think the card manufacturers need to at least try to stay within the year, but to be releasing product, as we're halfway into the next season, it's like, come on, guys, really? And it's just one of them things that I think they're going to have to learn the hard way. And I don't think we should be supporting that kind of product. I really don't. And I know you're probably going to get great prices on it or what have you. But I really, as collectors, this is the only way they're going to get it. I've stayed on this topic a little bit longer than I wanted to. Let's hurry up and move on to the next topic, which is going to be the legal battle between Fanatics and Marvin Harrison Jr. He is the son of Hall of Famer Marvin Harrison, who played for the Indianapolis Colts. But there was an issue here that I don't know if he handled this very well, but I want to go through and just give you an update of what exactly was happening with him. But he was drafted in 2024 in the first round. He was the 4th overall pick in the draft. And as you can see here for his stats, he had a pretty decent season, all things considered. He played in 17 games, which is impressive. He had 62 receptions for a total of 885 yards. When you do the math, he averaged 14.3 yards per reception, which is decent, and a total of 8 touchdowns. So he has got a year under his belt, and he's proven himself to be a pretty solid pick for the Arizona Cardinals. Well, the problem is that he refused to sign with the Players Association. And this refusal, obviously, they couldn't make jerseys of him. Obviously, they could not enter autographs of him into product. And that, to me, was the most shocking part. Fanatics claimed that in 2023, he signed a 3-year deal worth about $1 million, and he was paid for the exchange of his NIL, name, image, and likeness. At first, media outlets leaked that Marvin Harrison did not sign this contract, that was his father who signed the contract. And so there was a lot of confusion as to what the heck was really going on. But what really happened, I guess, and that is Harrison Jr.'s counter argument that this contract was signed by Marvin Harrison Jr.'s company, not him personally as a person. So this 10-month legal saga has now come to an end, thankfully. The parties have reached an undisclosed out-of-court settlement, and we can expect to see Marvin Harrison Jr. jerseys, and we can expect him to start signing a football card product. We do have him in 2023 when he signed with Fanatics. There is a lot of Topps product that has his autographs in it in 2023. Everything that was in Bowman University, the litany of collegiate product that was made in 2023, you can find his autos. Where you're not going to find his autos is in the 2024 product. But of course, now that we're releasing, products into the next year, we may be able to squeeze an auto or two in his rookie season. Time will tell. Well, let's move on now to the big battle between Fanatics and Panini in dual antitrust lawsuits. This is the case that really has me excited. I have been carefully following this issue. I have made several videos on the topic. I may leave a link to one at the end of this one. You can check it out. But this is a very important case when it comes not only to the state of the hobby, but the state of the rookie card. This issue here is very important, and it started early in 2024. Fanatics, in my opinion, now came in like a thief in the night, and they came in and seduced the NFLPA and the NBAPA and the MLBPA, and we can even include the license of UFC into this equation as well. So as Fanatics is throwing celebrity white parties and all this celebration as they have this big contract agreement with the Players Association, Panini says timeout. Panini goes ahead and enters an antitrust lawsuit and accuses Fanatics of monopoly type practices, and they accuse Fanatics of poaching their employees to come and work for them, and this whole thing becomes a mess. But Panini went after the Players Association for breaking their contract, and the arbitrator ruled in favor of Panini, and the NFLPA had to pay Panini $7 million for breaching their contract. The judge on the case said on Monday that there was a conspiracy between the NFLPA, MLBPA, and Fanatics to license both the Players Association's intellectual property on an exclusive basis. That's what the judge says here. And key word in this sentence is that there was a conspiracy. Obviously, I am not an attorney, but this is just basically like a little 2-minute recap of the greatest hits that I wanted to share for you all, so you all can get up to snuff. I think sometimes our reporting can be a little lazy. We got to do a little bit of research and kind of tell the story in full to get a better understanding. So this is just a quick hit type of little thing. I would highly recommend going over to X and check out Paul Lesko, who is known as the hobby's attorney. He really broke this down on a post, and he went page by page posting what's going on with this case. And it was a fascinating post, a very long post. So grab yourself a cup of coffee when you read it. But I'm going to leave a link to Paul Lesko's X post in the show notes. So make sure you check it out as a good reference point resource. Bottom line, the judge granted Panini in part to proceed with the antitrust lawsuit. Now, it is my opinion that the way I'm reading it, it's kind of like a 60-40 or perhaps a 70-30. And what I mean by that is the judge says, she threw out some of the stuff. There were some things that she says, this is legit. You may have a case here if you can prove it. So I'm going to allow this. But then there was a 30 to 40% portion of it that she read and dismissed and kind of basically says, hey, you guys ain't got nothing there. This is why unions exist. And a lot of times people don't agree with unions, a bunch of overpaid prima donnas and all this other crazy stuff you hear about union organizations. But this is the exact reason why they exist. Do you think these athletes or even a union worker, a blue collar worker, we would not be getting the wages that we get if it were not for the union? We would be making a fraction of what we're currently making. But also protection. It protects the company and it protects the worker. Protect them from what? From shenanigans like this. At the end of the day, it's going to be, what does the contract say? Did you violate the agreement or did you not? Paul Lesko also took a poll and basically asked, for those of you who survived my entire thread on the Panini Fanatics lawsuit rulings from yesterday, how do you think the lawsuit will end? And here's the survey. Fanatics wins, Panini wins, confidentiality settlement, or a mixed bag. And the majority of the people, 46.2% of the 238 votes, feel that it's going to settle out of court. Me personally, I don't think it's going to settle out of court. I hope it doesn't settle out of court. I hope it goes the distance. And I believe, and I say this with all due respect, but I highly recommend that Fanatics settles this, because I believe, in my personal opinion, Panini's going to push this all the way through, as they should. The blatant disregard for the agreements and the contracts, Fanatics coming in my opinion, just a little too cocky. They're coming in a little too hot, just disrupting everything within the hobby and how we do things. And they had absolutely no clue or no idea on how to run things. And it's one of them things where there is hell to pay for the chaos that was caused within the hobby, within the industry. And there's I don't know what the outcome's going to be. I just hope that it goes the distance, and I hope that justice will prevail. I view it this way. There are 3 failures made by Fanatics and the Players Association, in my opinion, of course. The first one is the failure of legal obligation. And this one falls solely on the Players Association. And this probably leans more towards the PA than anybody. They are the first ones who sold out to Fanatics. They're in bed with Fanatics. And that is not the proper environment for a union organization. Unions that become corrupt, unions that get in bed with the company, are corrupt unions. They are bad unions. But there are also good unions, and those are the ones that don't ever get any credit. The only ones that get the limelight are the corrupt ones, and this is where the problem lies. There is just a failure of legal obligation that was done. The Players Association's early termination of the current contracts violated legal obligations, and they have to feel the weight of that decision. There is also a failure in a moral obligation. In business, this kind of refers to like the ethical duty of doing what's right. Do the right thing at the right time for the right reasons, and do them in the right way. Do what's fair and just. And it's one of them things that when you don't do that, what you do is you damage consumer confidence. And so now an issue of trust comes in. And I mean, what good is it that you take over the hobby and you lose the collectors? And that, I believe, is what's happening. And that leads to my third one, is that the collectors are left dealing with the consequences, or should I say the hobby as a whole. We are left dealing with the consequences of all of these shenanigans, all of this unethical behavior. It is like a divorce, a young couple who has kids that are ranging between 5 and 15, and they end up getting a divorce. And each parent thinks that this is the best thing, is to just dissolve the marriage. But the problem is with that is that there's consequences in those decisions, and the ones that usually pay the consequences are the children. And so those are, to me, in my opinion, three major failures that Fanatics has done to the hobby. I think they need to take each and every single one of these and really try to turn this ship around. And that's not going to be done overnight. Slowly but surely, they need to turn this thing back around and start operating and doing things in an ethical way, in a legal way. Follow the flipping rules. I'm going to leave you with this, and I really do hope it comes down to this. And I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. I'm putting my eggs on the judge, like the lawsuit in 1975. This is when Fleer sued Topps and tried to break up their monopoly. They entered into a lawsuit. And in 1980, you had a judge, federal judge Clarence Charles Newcomer of Pennsylvania. He ended Topps' exclusive rights and gave Fleer the permission and the legal right to compete within the industry. And that was a game-changing moment in the hobby. And in 1981, as we all know, Fleer entered the market, Donruss entered the industry, and it was just a very exciting time for the hobby as this ushered in a dawn of a new era, perhaps one of the most important dates in hobby history. And I believe we are knocking on the threshold of the same type of situation here. I would not minimize this as Panini's just going to sell out and settle. I believe they're going to try to go the distance. For this Panini versus Fanatics case, we have U.S. District Judge Laura Swan hearing the case. And when you look at the telltale signs and read between the lines of Paul Lesko's post on this topic, he seems to think that this judge really knows what's going on as he filtered through the pages, read what was going on, and interpreted what was going on. He sensed that this judge is on top of it. One last thing before I end the video here, and I want to get your thoughts on this topic, and that is AI generated rookie cards. It seems like more and more I'm seeing in product anyways, that these images on these products are all AI generated, and it looks cartoonish in nature. And I think it's okay to do that a little bit, maybe okay to use that kind of stuff on some kind of insert, but it seems like it's becoming more and more the norm to have AI generated images. And I'm just, how are you okay with that? I wonder what your opinion is. I love the photography on sports cards. It's like what makes it, but I want to see the real athlete. I don't want to see a cartoon version of the athlete. At least that's how I feel. And I'm okay with a little bit of it, but when it starts becoming, repetitive, I have concerns with that. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for tuning in. As always, remember, my friends, not all rookie cards are created equal.
The true Jordan rookie from 1985.
Bullshit.
Until next time, buenos nachos, muchachos.